So I decided to make another targeted individual video after court. Got a little shaving cut there. This is a survival guide for new targeted individuals. I've been targeted since 2009 and 2010. My father died and mom stole my inheritance, and her rich attorney husband is attempting to discredit me through a bunch of criminal cases in court. So, the first TI survival guide is number 1. Don't go to any doctor. Not in America, if you can avoid it. If you live in Illinois or California, not so close to the border of Mexico, I could just shoot down to Mexico and go see a doctor down there. They're much better. There's not a medical file. All your medical visits are documented. Anytime you go in there, watch what you say. The nurse, doctor can put anything in your medical file. They'll typically use that to target you in the future, or try and get you in the court process, which they did with me right now. Number 2 is don't get mad in public. No matter what the methamphetamine, usually people on probation, tweakers are doing for the government, don't get mad at them in public. Don't give them the satisfaction of giving you any reason to get in court. Number 3, document everything you can. And when I mean everything, pretty soon I'm going to be back sleeping in a tent in Mexico. Luckily I have permission from the court to go down there. The gang stalking there is a little different than it is in the United States. It's more direct harassment, so they're easy to spot, and they really won't do anything to you there either. It'll just be harassment. Number 4, don't be paranoid. Perps cannot directly kill you. That would leave a trail of evidence for people such as police that are actually honest police to investigate your death. So they have to kill you, say, by bad medicine, going to a doctor, and that doctor prescribing you a medicine that's bad for your conditions. Number 5, don't drink too much alcohol. Keep your senses about you. Make sure that you're not blacking out, vulnerable, because that's a good time for them to strike a hit at you. Number 6, don't allow yourself to become vulnerable. That basically goes along with don't drink too much alcohol or do any other kinds of heavy drugs where you're paranoid or delusional already. Number 7, don't hide in your house. Go out and do your routines. They hate that. The perpetrators cannot stand it when you can go out and do the things that you want to do, and whatever little thing they do to try and harass you doesn't work, it irritates them. So people, don't be paranoid. Go out in public, do your things. They can't do anything to you except harass you. Number 8, go to court. If you're involved in the court, which I know most of you probably are, go to court. But do everything in your power to make them think that you're mentally sane. I know in Arizona, I've been involved in the court system here for about 4 months now. Typically when defendants go to court and the public defender, because they know they're poor, offers them a plea deal in court and the defendant doesn't take it, the public defenders like to say they have a conflict with people and they're crazy, they can't get along. Then they try and say, well, we need to send you to a mental health doctor. And I know that's already happened to Michael Barden, so there's nothing really he can do about it right now. He's already gone down that road. But any of you that haven't had to go see a mental health doctor, if your attorney's giving you problems, say you want to represent yourself right now, you want to fire him, and then you say, I need to get another attorney, I'm having a problem with my attorney, he's not doing the things that I want to be done in my case. So what I had to do is I had 3 felonies. I had gotten permission from the court during the time frame of those 3 felonies to be able to go to Mexico and come back. So they were trying to say I was crazy because I had 3 public defenders quit on me when I wouldn't take their plea bargain. So I decided to try and find a psychiatrist here because I knew the next court date. They were going to attempt to call me crazy and make me go get an evaluation done. So me and Mr. Smart Guy, I said, alright, now I'm going to look for a doctor in Arizona. Every time I called the psychiatrist's office and said, hey, I need to set up an appointment for an evaluation for court, blah, 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 here's my birth date, social security number, blah, 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 blah. Every time the representative put in my social security number and waited for about 30 seconds for my information to pop up, they said, oh, I'm sorry, sir, we are all filled up, we can't see you. So that tells me my information's in the database, right, because I could pay for it. You'd think a doctor would want to see you and get paid. So I decided to throw them off. I had a hernia at the time, and I've had it for over 2 years. Decided to go down to Mexico and see how much a hernia surgery would cost me. That's going to make them not be able to call me crazy because I just had hernia surgery and taking care of my body. So I went down there, paid $1,700, got a ketamine shot in my back, which cured the MRSA I had for 3 years as well. They made me sick in a jail, I believe, with the food. And that's all taken care of now. The MRSA's gone. I stayed awake during the surgery, and the next time I went to court to show up for court, the court clerk had a motion to dismiss for me from the prosecutor. I call the prosecutors persecutors, not prosecutors, persecutors. And it said motion to dismiss without prejudice, which means the prosecutor can refile. So I filed a lawsuit on him since the Nogales police here searched me after arrest. They violated my Fourth Amendment right. So the persecutor, should have filed the case as dismissed with prejudice. Now, a week later, I was arrested for disorderly conduct at Motel 6. It was all fabricated by who I found out now from a girl that's got uttering fictitious checks in California. I won't say her name because I don't want to get sued. But anyways, it's kind of ironic. It happened a week after I filed a lawsuit on the Nogales Police Department, which I had to amend to put it against the city because I didn't know law and wasn't supposed to actually, but now I do. Anyways, that's beside the point. It's going forward. And yeah, so basically in my case, they're using generally people that are meth addicts to falsify charges against me in court. Generally people that are on probation anyway and that kind of thing. It all stems from an inheritance I was supposed to receive that mommy stole, like I told you before. But go to court, do your thing, act intelligent. If you're smart enough, like I am, represent yourself. I'm not going to take a public defender. Don't need a public defender. I like to talk to the judge. Number 9, don't plea bargain ever. Never, ever plea bargain. Chances are, if they are coming at you with a plea bargain, 90% of the time that means there's something faulty with their paperwork. And in Arizona, what I learned is if you fight the persecutors, they like to try and call you crazy, especially when they don't have a case. Now, if they had a case, there would be no sense in calling you crazy. But if they don't have a case and want to suppress the evidence, which means hide the evidence, then they are basically using it to try and hide the evidence, win their case, put you in the nut house when you don't really need to be there because somebody is out to get you because you pissed off somebody. In my case, I pissed off my stepdad. You can Google him all you want. His name is Mr. Stephen S. Bowen, Latham & Watkins, LLC. They live in Glencoe, Illinois. I don't think I should give the address because that just would be too much revenge, but it'd be kind of funny if a whole bunch of YouTubers showed up at their house. And finally, the last survival guide for you new targeted individuals is keep your senses and your wit about you. Don't get mad. Goes back to that. Look at your surroundings. Document, document, document. And if you can, get people's names. Facebook's a great place to put somebody's picture and find out who they are. So, keep your wits about you guys. That's all I want to tell you. That's the basic rule number one to survive targeted individual's life. Keep your wits about you, especially with the drinking. Y'all have a great day. Be safe. I know I'm winning mine. More of us are going to win as long as we band together. See you in Mexico.